Hello all. Before we begin the video, let's discuss CloudFoundation. CloudFoundation is the premier online training platform to help individuals and organizations gain knowledge and skills in the ever-growing cloud computing industry.
And since you guys know we have to uncheck this box, here whatever I'm doing, it's a manual way. In real-time environment, again, this task also it's an automated one. So event will be triggered automatically. So I have checked this box, so event will trigger.
This is a basic things. That's the reason you're saying like automatic, the real time.
Exactly, because these are, I won't say basic, but it's an automated task. We won't ask support engineer to execute this task manually. When we know we can automate this job, why do we require people? Why do we require manual intervention? Correct. Okay. So whenever the time occurs, all tasks will execute automatically. Again, it's a business requirement based on the business requirement. Okay. So for a demonstrate purpose, I am executing everything manually, because if I'm going to execute automatically, so we have to wait for the particular time arrives, correct? So I have executed the task called refresh ID custom. So only one identity examined and one event processed. So now go to identity warehouse and refresh the same identity. So here you could see for Suresh Reddy, one event got generated at November 28, 8:10. Joiner event got triggered. Source, because of this task, refresh ID custom task, that event got triggered. Identity created because we have selected the event type as create. So cause identity created, process a new employee, launched workflow. So the workflow has been launched. So where can we check this workflow status quickly? So we can go to task result. And if any workflow is going to be launched, we can check it from here. So it will take a couple of minutes to execute the active, whatever conditions we have mentioned. So the current workflow step is provision. So meanwhile, if you have any question, anything you'd like to clarify on joiner event, so you can clarify right away. So the same method applies to lever and mover, all kind of events except NCD. Or else I would say for NCD also, method will be applicable, but some slight changes will be there. I have a question. Let's say the event got failed. So what will you do in that scenario? The joiner event got failed due to some technical issue. It could be application is down. Maybe Sailpoint is not able to grant the access. Provisioning engine not triggered. So what will happen in that scenario? What will be the next step?
You restart the task?
Rerun the task.
No, I told you, right? So once we trigger the event, the trigger snapshot will be removed.
Yep.
So now let's go to debug page. I will open the identity. If I'm going to refresh the identity again, nothing is gonna trigger because the identity, the trigger snapshot has been already removed. See here, from line number 13, the entry key started and it got closed here only, which means we don't have any value. But previously, in line number 30, it got started and 23, it got ended, correct?
Yep. So once the trigger snapshot will be removed once the task started or once the task is going to complete.
Once the task completes, which means if trigger snapshot is available, event will be triggered. Once event got triggered, the trigger snapshot will be removed.
So in between, as you said, if the system failure or Sailpoint got some error and the task not completed properly, then what will happen? So we
have to check it from debug page. If trigger snapshot is available, yeah, definitely we can refresh the identity once again. But let's say if the trigger snapshot is not available, in between it gets stuck. So what will you do?
So we need to add this trigger snapshot back, and
we cannot add. If you are a hardcore developer, even though you can't be add this entry key, the trigger snapshot, because we are not sure, right? For each and every identity, the trigger snapshot value will get different. Okay, so in that scenario, we have two options. One, we can follow the legacy process, which means we can ask the application team to grant the access manually. One option. Two, we can trigger this event manually. But some environment, some project I have seen, yeah, we have an option to trigger an event. So we can create one quick link as we create yesterday. Okay. In the quick link object, we can clearly mention this event needs to be triggered for this identity. So whenever we are going to click on this quick link, the workflow will be launched once again, which means we are going to trigger this event manually. You got it?
Okay.
Yeah. So now let's refresh this. I hope it completed now. Because in the workflow, I have clearly mentioned, right? So in the joiner workflow, AD account needs to be created. So now we are going to validate. So Suresh identity. Yeah. Identity got created in Active Directory application automatically. Suresh Reddy is the username. So now go to member of tab. Here you could see in the workflow, we have mentioned domain computers and domain users, isn't it? So both the entitlement, or you may call it as group, has been added to the user profile, which means now Suresh has access to Active Directory application. He can log in into the server. He can access the AD application. Are we clear? In a similar way, in the same workflow, we could have added more applications which needs to be granted.
Yeah.
So now go to Suresh profile, go to application accounts. So now Suresh has access to Active Directory application as well automatically.
Even for the success case, still we can do, we can run this task manually, or forcefully we can start this task, or what?
Forcefully means, are you talking about the refresh identity cube task?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do one thing. I'm going to refresh the same identities once again. Okay. So the task name is refresh identity ID custom, right?
So you last time you ran the refresh task, right? Or
No. So this was the task which I have executed. So this is the ID value, right? 968.
Yeah.
So 968. So I have enabled this process event. So that event needs to be triggered.
Yeah.
I'm going to execute once again. So this time no event will be triggered. Why? Because there is no trigger snapshot exists.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It got completed again, 817. So identity got examined. That's it. No event has triggered. You got it? This is very important to understand, guys. If you're going to troubleshoot, so you should know the flow, how it works. Are we clear on the joiner event? Okay. So let me let me demonstrate the lever event also quickly. But in the lever event workflow, I didn't mention anything. So none of the access is going to be disabled or deleted. Okay. So basically, I'm going to trigger this event. That's it. So lever event. So the description based on this inactive value is going to change whenever the attribute value is called inactive. Whenever value is going to change from false to true, the event has to be triggered. And this workflow will be launched. So this is out of the box workflow. Nothing is mentioned, which means nothing is customized. So, like this access needs to be removed and all.
So Rakesh, this will be work, right? This is going to be work, right?
Yes. Basically, the workflow will be launched. If nothing we have mentioned, which means none of the access is going to be removed, but event will trigger.
Okay.
So let me demonstrate that too. So we have a HR application for the same user called Suresh Reddy. I'm going to change the value from false to true. I will save this application. Yeah, go ahead.
My question is, right now you're changing it for one specific, right? For Suresh Reddy, right?
Yes.
I'm talking about the bulk means like, multiple people. You can do that as well, right?
Yes. So in our scenario, I took one identity as an example. So a lot of identity value is going to get updated, right? And in real-time environment, all the identity will be refreshed, isn't it?
Yeah.
So whenever the identity is going to refresh and event checkbox enabled, then definitely event will be triggered for each and every identity separately.
Got it. Okay, I think I got it.
So now we have updated this value from false to true. So this is the inactive status. So let me save this file. That's it. So once again, the PeopleSoft account aggregation task I'm going to execute manually, so that whatever changes has been done in the HR system, it will update in Sailpoint as well. It's refreshing Suresh Reddy identity as well, which means whatever changes has been done in the target system, it will update in Sailpoint as well. Completed now. Yeah, one identity got updated. That's Suresh Reddy identity.
And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.